We are out on another very warm day today. As you can see, it's very green. Oops, I'm losing my leash here. Yeah, it's very nice and green here. We've had quite a bit of rain, and it doesn't take much sunshine to get everything to bloom. I think the last time I was up here, just maybe a week ago, it wasn't all this. So yeah, it definitely blossoms quite a bit. But it is very hot today, so we're just out for a little jaunt here, mid-afternoon walk. I'm sure Cooper is going to jump into the spring up here. He's got to go to the vet tomorrow, and get a squeezing. And he doesn't like that. I guess he doesn't like the procedure, but he definitely likes the comfort that comes afterwards. And for all you dog people out there, you know the glands I'm talking about, that with some dogs they don't, they're scent glands, and they don't, like, every time a dog does a number 2, when it comes out, it passes those 2 scent glands, and the scent glands are on each side. So when that is pushed out, the pressure from what's coming out empties those scent glands. But sometimes, especially with labs, where labs tend to have some stomach issues, and they're known for eating just about anything, and so they tend to have stomach and gastric intestinal issues. And what happens is, a lot of times they have very soft stool, so there's nothing pushing on those glands to empty them, so they get filled up. And I guess for a human, it would be like, this is definitely not for the weak stomach people. I guess, like, I don't see anything gross about it, but some people would. So, just saying. So with a person, the feeling would be like the same as having a boil on a sensitive part of the body that has a tendency to rub a lot, like the inner thigh or the butt, whatever. So that would be about, or maybe, I've never had hemorrhoids, but I'm assuming hemorrhoids would be kind of like the same feeling. It would be kind of like that. So as you can imagine, for a dog, it's like they have these two big lumps in there, and they're on the exit part, so a lot of sensitive nerves there. So let's go this way, bud. So yeah, very uncomfortable. And Cooper, he has that issue. So he's had some soft passing for quite a little while now, and that's because of the high river water and then the stagnant river water. And like if you noticed in our other videos, we tend to walk in a lot of places that have mud puddles and drainage and stuff like that. So with labs, you turn your head, they're drinking out of it. Like, they just they're good at fighting bacteria and stuff, but they are also very good at picking it up. So oh, don't be running, bud. No, you don't need to run. It's too hot. So basically, anyway, to make a long story short, Cooper has to go and get those emptied. Now, I would give you that process too, but I might get an R rating, I guess. Anyway, if you're interested in how the vets do it, it's very quick and very simple. But as a dog owner, it just, I don't know, I just feel wrong. Like, I did try, and Cooper looked at me like, what in the hell are you doing? And what did I do to deserve this? So after I tried, it was like, I'd sooner pay somebody $50 to do this. So anyway, that's what he's got to get done tomorrow. And like I said, he doesn't like the process, but it is a big relief for him. And it's a relief for me too, because they don't sleep good, and I guess their way of comfort is to move around. So he's waking me up in the middle of the night to take him out, and he requires more walking through the day. And the usual 2-hour walks a day usually ends up with 3, and so it takes a lot out of your day. And if it's not like 3 walks throughout the day, then he's waking me up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then like he cuffs me inside the head, and I open my eyes, and he's like 3 inches away from my face, panting. And it's like, hey, get up, I gotta go. So, yeah, so it's a relief for all of us. we are just going on kind of a short stroll here. I had to come up around here to go to the pharmacy, so I thought, well, I'm going up that way, so it's a good chance to take him for a little stroll. So a little stroll, not a long one, and there's lots of shade in here. There's a nice breeze blowing. So it's very hot out in the sun, but it's very nice on the trails. I guess we're coming out onto a trail that is facing the sun, so that might not be so great. But it's a short one, short walk. So I think Cooper's probably going to hit the water again here. This is a good trail because he gets to jump in the water coming in and back out. So, isn't this a nice spot right in here? No, we're not going there, bud. I just come in here to let you get in the water, okay? There's a nice trail back there. You gonna jump in? Oh, come here, bud. Here, come, jump in this way. There you go. There you go. Yeah, you can get in. Here, come around here. There, get down in here, bud. There you go. Yeah, down there. There you go. And he's probably going to lay down. Yeah. So, yeah, very nice, eh? Very nice. I think I can zoom out to get even more of this. So, yeah, very nice. Okay, let's go back out on the trail. There's so many trails through here. And then when we get to the end of this little trail, we can take a shortcut and it takes us straight back to where we parked. So it's about 10 minutes longer coming in than going out, and that's perfect. Plus you got the two water sources, one coming in, one going out, so it's perfect for a hot day walking a dog, because when you're coming in, they're not so hot and dry, and they get a boost at the water source before they come out, and then on the way out he gets another boost of water to cool down, and it's shorter coming out, 10 minutes shorter. So perfect. Are you going in there? We got a trail here too that follows the spring. Yeah, I think we'll stick to the trail there, bud, because I don't see much of a trail through here. Like, it might look like a trail right there, but it looks a lot different through my eyes than the phone. So, okay, bud, you ready? And we don't want to end up roaming through the woods for an hour or two trying to find our way out. So as long as I've been up here, I've been traveling these trails for 6-7 years now. And I mean, I travel them a lot. And this is one of the major walking areas I do. And I still get lost. That's how many and how big this trail system is. And that's on this side of the highway. And there's the other side of the highway. One of my videos a few weeks ago, I just wasn't paying attention for a couple minutes, and I ended up spending an extra hour and coming out a long ways away from where I thought I was going to come out at. And when I did get out to the road, I ended up having to walk me and him up the side of the road for a few miles to get to the car. So as you hikers know, it only takes a few seconds to get disorientated. And that's just a very dumb move on my part, because I've been hiking for years off the grid, way deep woods, 5-day hikes. And so I know all the do's and don'ts, and very familiar with the processes in the woods. So to take my mind off of the trails while I'm walking and look at my phone, for something not even important, that's just a very amateur move on my part. So just a lesson there. If you're going out into the woods to hike, and it's and you're not like 100% sure of where you're at, do not let your mind wander. Because, or I should say, don't take your eyes off of where you're at. Because it just takes a few seconds and one missed turn. Like, that's what happened to me. I missed the road that I was supposed to take. I walked right by it. And then everything looks kind of similar, so when I did look up, I didn't realize that I was on the wrong path. And so I kept walking, and I was like, geez, there should be a trail on the right. Like, I hadn't been up there for a while, but I'd walked it enough times to know that, I should have been at that trail. But I did know that as long as I go straight, I will come out. So it was like, did I miss the trail? Do I turn and go back and see if I can find it? Or is it coming up? So I was like, well, if I keep going straight, I know I'll come out on the road. I just didn't realize it was going to be that long. So, yeah. So, and with this side of the highway, there's just a lot more trails. than the other side. The other side is basically one trail straight in and one main trail straight in and one main trail off to your right. And then it goes, I know that this trail comes out onto a street called Bishop Drive. And I know that because I'm going to the right, and if I keep going east or right, then that whole Bishop Drive, that cuts off this whole trail system. So if I go right, keep going, I will come out on Bishop Drive. So, I know things like that, but it's the trails in here that take you, say, right, but then they curve. And then you just end up deeper in the woods. So, yeah. Stick to the trails, or go with somebody who knows the trails and that can show you. And then this way, bud. Another bridge up there. Come on, buddy. So anyway, yeah, you can go with somebody that knows the hiking trail, and they'll show you like the landmarks to look for, whether it be a big rock or a tree with a arrow on it, or a fallen tree, whatever. But you can pick up on the landmarks. And exploring new trails, it's just a good idea to do a search on them. And most trails are marked now, and you can use like applications like All Trails, or even Google Earth. Like, most hiking trails are marked off, like GPS located and all that stuff. So and you can zoom right in, and if the trails are marked like All Trails, that application, you can zoom right in and look at how the trail winds around. And if you have your GPS locator on, it'll pinpoint you on that trail and where you're at. And you can just look for, like, it'll show if there's any trails off of it, and where the trail starts and stops. And so there's a lot of good tools out there now that make it really hard to get lost if you're using them. But a lot of us hikers that have been doing it for years, we never had that stuff. So sometimes you just go by feel, and it's just a lot smarter to use all the resources you have. And a lot of them are free, but at the same time, it's worth $29.99 a year if that's what it costs, and you do a lot of hiking in new areas and long hikes that last longer than a day. Like, that's a small price to pay to know where you're at and have people be able to see where you're at. That's another thing. A lot of parks, like national parks, you can rent these GPS locators. And I know that when you go into the Fundy National Park and say you want to do, there's one that I did that was around 40 miles, and it was basically a 5-day hike, and that's just kind of taking it easy. A lot of people can do it in 3 days. It's called the Fundy Footpath, and it actually can go up to, I think it's like 80 kilometers, 55 miles, and or it can be as short as a day hike, or 17 kilometers, like you come out at Tide's Head, or you come out at the Salmon, I think it's the Salmon River Trail or something. And but anyway, basically what I was getting at is that they're like intermediate to advanced, I guess. Some of them, like the day trails and stuff, they're beginner to novice or whatever. But you can go right up to advanced hiking. So when you get into the longer trails where you're going to be camping, you can rent these GPS locators at the office, or you can simply just buy one or use your phone, but I mean, they're specifically set to the rangers, like, that patrol the park and stuff, so they can pick you up very easy. So it's definitely a good thing to have. I know it would have been nice to have them years ago when I was hiking, because I had a lot of scares starting out. But so now with Cooper's hips not being so good and stuff, we don't go on those big long hikes. I guess, to be honest, like, we could go out for a couple days, and probably will. I know we're going somewhere, like, possibly this weekend, so if the weather holds up, and we could, or probably will, we'll probably stay at a camp or a cabin the first night, and then we'll venture in to, like, just get off the grid for the second, and then hike into another very beautiful off the grid camp spot where there's no electricity, no running water, and there's only 2 campsites. But it's awesome. The campsites are right on the, like, embankment of this amazing lake. Okay, so we're back. Are you tired, bud? Okay, so we're gonna get